Michael Fasoni again, Fasoni and Partners Advertising. The biggest question in advertising is how much? Don't be afraid by an advertising budget. Remember, a budget won't cost you money. It will make you money. Most local advertisers think of establishing a budget as something that costs them money. In fact, it will save them money. When you have a budget with proper budget allocations, it will keep you from spending precious advertising dollars on all those nickel and dime things such as sponsorships of a local networking group, ads and publications here and there, the new shiny digital tactic, or the next good deal that walks through the door and sounded like a really good idea at the time. But once you establish a budget, you will also establish a 12-month calendar showing how your budget will be spent every month. Yes, you will see your entire year at a glance, so you can chart your course for the whole year. Because you have completed steps 1, 2, and 3 in this video series, by now you will know who you're going to target with those ad dollars and why you will target that audience. You will know when you are going to spend your advertising dollars according to your selling cycles. You will also know what you're going to say, your message, your USP. Now you will know how much to spend on your advertising. Most advertisers establish their budget based on a percentage of gross sales. The cost of their advertising is built into the price of the products they sell sometimes. Your advertising budget, remember this, is the only item on your overhead sheet that is designated to make you money. Therefore, when it comes to your advertising budget, use it only for advertising. Most retailers will spend 1% of gross sales on advertising. For example, the leading furniture store in any given city will spend maybe up to 10% of gross sales on advertising. This is somewhat aggressive. The smaller furniture store will spend 3 to 5% on advertising. This store should be maybe more 7 to 8%. I think that'd be a good benchmark for a furniture store in a city of 500,000 population or more. However, 10% or more is usually what it takes to be a market leader, or at least be competitive. A leading jewelry store spends 8%. And a smaller one-location jeweler that I've worked with for years spends around 5%. If your business is based on getting telephone calls, such as a personal injury lawyer, home remodeling services, then closer to 10% is a good budget. Many small advertisers will use this method to arrive at a percentage, backing into a budget. And here's how it works. Calculate what you spent last year. Were you comfortable with that amount? Did it do a good job? Whether you increase or decrease that amount of money, come up with a total of what you will be spending next year. Now calculate what percent of sales that amount represents. That's how you back into your budget. Here's why that's important. For the next few years, you will need to know if you are spending more or less on your advertising. In this way, when you measure results of the advertising, you'll know if your spending is up or down. Without knowing the percentage of sales, you can't get a true picture. For example, an auto dealer may have spent a certain amount of dollars and sold 800 cars for the year. The next year, they spent the same amount of money and sold 900 cars. The next year, they spent the same amount of money again and sold 925 cars. That car dealer is actually decreasing their advertising budget each year. And you say, Michael, so what? They're selling more cars every year. And I say, how many cars could they have sold had they been as aggressive the last 2 years as they were the first year? Or, and this is big, what happens when business falls off on the 4th year and you don't know why? And what was your share of market for the 3-year period? See that? Now don't let a good sales period make you lose sight of market share and your budget. They could have been increasing their sales for the last 2 years, but losing their share of market to the competition. Yes, there may have been a strong auto market for those 2 years, but their lack of aggressive advertising cost them cars they could have sold. Your budget will tell you if you spent too much or too little. If you're going to err one way or the other, it is far safer to overspend than to underspend. Trust me, when you underspend, you'll never know if you missed the market. Was the message wrong? Did anyone even see or hear it? The money's gone, and you have gained no information for future advertising. When you overspend on an advertising campaign, at least you will know the advertising reached the audience you wanted it to and the return you got on that campaign. If it was successful, then the overspend was a small crime. If it failed, and you know you spent enough money to reach your audience, then you will have valuable information and answers, and you will know not to make those same media mistakes again, creative mistakes again, use that digital or social tactic or certain station again. You won't repeat the same mistakes. So if I was forced to give you a percent to spend without knowing a lot of information about your business, I would suggest 6.5% minimum for most retailers. Accounts that only use social media or digital media, they can get away with far less. But give me a call and let's go through this exercise together and let me help you.